Hello and welcome to the Final 9 Safari of the 2025 Tour de Richmond, presented by MVP Disc Sports and Good Sports Discs. My name is Tim Eck.
And I'm Graham Jennings, and I am excited for some Safari. This is a really fun and challenging layout that combines a few of the holes out here. Before we get into it, let's check in with our leaderboard. We're going to be following Jay Keagy and Matt Graves tied up at 22 down, followed by Eric Dobmeier at 19 down and Nick Doan at 16 down. Let's see how they tackle this very challenging and demanding Safari 9. Hey, it's worth noting, due to a technical difficulty, we do not have drone coverage from hole 1 to hole 3, but we're going to see these guys chop it up either way. Most players are going to opt for the low line that Jay takes here, utilizing some of the fairway of hole 9, and he gets out to the opening and will have a nice approach. Matt Graves is looking high. Looks like he's going to try a flex shot.
Gets it up, but catches a little bit of tree. It's not a bad result. He can still definitely keep heading towards three's basket.
It's going to be a little obstructed. Dobmeier takes a similar line to Jay Keagy, but unfortunately unable to keep it low enough, and he's going to be out of position for a birdie.
Nick is picking up a nuke here.
Nick, after a blistering round at Bryan Park, is going to be joining us on the lead card for the final 9. And he lands very similarly to Jay Keagy. Eric throwing a blistering backhand flex. That comes up with still about 200 into the green. Nick Doan with his eyes in the sky and something fast. Looks like a Paige Pierce ESP nuke. This is his more beat-in one, meaning he's going for big distance.
He's got a really nice turn here.
Flips the catch cam and finds himself in circle 1. It's a big toss. Gravy, as the crow flies, a little bit closer than Nick Doan, but he has a few more obstacles in his way. He goes with this more stable Star Wraith, puts it out on a nice flex line.
Comes down very nicely.
He'll have about a circle 2 look from there. Good stop by Keagy. Hoping to get some turn out of this. Starts to fade a little early.
Yeah, didn't get any fade out of it and caught this evergreen. It's not too far from the basket, but it's going to be tough to make a bid on it.
Dobmeier with a forehand approach finds himself well inside of circle 1 after a favorable kick off the tree. He'll have a tap-in par. Keagy's going to find himself in a position all of us disc golfers know all too well, backed up against something uncomfortable for the putt.
Gives it a good bid. Comes up just a little bit short, but can tap in for the 4.
Here we see Graves in circle 2, having to navigate his way around the one guardian tree in between him and the basket.
Also comes up just a little short, but no harm in the 4.
Nick Doan for 3 from circle 2. That's hard. Nice putt. Cheeks it over the rim. Great putt from circle 2. Nice way to start the round on the back 9. Let's watch that one more time. Thank you, Radiant, for the Radiant rollback, and thank you, Nick Doan, for the sick putt.
All right. Oh. Eric puts out his par along with Matt and Jay. And we will move on to the Safari's second hole, which is hole 4 from the normal tee. 615-foot par 4. We're trying to get as far down here on your first shot, avoiding those trees in the center of the fairway that have some low-hanging branches. We'll see how these guys attack the hole.
Nick Doan opting for something slower in the ESP Athena. Leaks a little right and finds himself on the right side along that wall of guardian trees for his approach. It's pretty common knowledge that hole 4 here at Bryan Park, playing a Safari hole 2, the only way to eagle it is with a roller, so let's see if we see a few of those today. Jay opting for the big air shot.
Got a little bit of a lift on the way across the open, and it pushed him up into a tree branch, and he got knocked down. You can definitely still attack and get the 3 from there, just a little bit of a setback. You can tell Matt's feeling for the wind as he's getting ready to throw.
And that's his go-to roller disc, a Squid by Neptune Discs, based out of Virginia. He lays it down, and it fights through the shrubbery there on the right-hand side of the fairway, and he'll have a pretty good approach from there.
Looks like Eric didn't quite get as much on it as he wanted to.
But he's on the right side of that guardian tree.
Yeah, he did have enough power to fight through it, so definitely on the better side of it.
He's definitely no slacker in the power department, known for a big arm. Keagy to save birdie with a buzz in his hand. Looks a little low.
Driven. Came up just a little short. It'll be a long circle 2 putt, probably 50-ish feet.
Nick Doan having to line something up through the trees here. Looks like it's going to be a more technical shot than you'd like after the tee. See if he can make it happen. Opting for the flex. Does it beat the tree?
Hits the tree. So he got dropped. He's also in circle 2, putting at it.
Dobmeier with a very smooth standstill from over 250 feet, and he'll find himself in circle 1 after that nice approach. Nice to see the gallery in full effect here to watch the lead card, as Matt Graves puts it just inside of Dobmeier for the birdie. Keagy with a long bid for birdie.
Nice bid, but comes up just a little short. He'll have to settle for a par on this one.
From out there, it's easy to be a little trepidatious with a lot of trouble behind the basket, so understand Jay's worries about going long.
Yeah, all that bushy stuff we can see is well within the circle, so pushing long can leave you with some very uncomfortable putts.
Nick Doan likes it.
He really liked it, but unfortunately didn't quite drop in the way he was expecting.
Dobmeier wasting no time on the birdie putt, and he'll convert. He's known for fast plays, but he backs it up with a lot of confidence, and he shows you why right there.
Matt also taps in his birdie.
A special thank you to the Richmond Parks and Rec Department for spraying the poison ivy behind the green and many other places on the course. We appreciate you guys for helping take care of us for Tour de Richmond. Looks like Graves pulls out into the lead with 1 stroke over Jay Keagy heading into the 3rd hole of Safari play.
We'll be a little short on the drone coverage again for this hole, just the technical difficulties of before. So we are going from hole 5's tee pad all the way over to hole 8. So we're just trying to kind of go straight up that hill and over to where hole 8's basket ends.
There's a few different ways you can chop this up. A lot of people traditionally go over 5's basket to approach, but as you can see, due to those storms we mentioned that happened just the day before, we have a big tree down, making that gap a little bit harder, so a lot of these folks are going to opt to go around the hill on the right-hand side. Matt Graves came up a little bit shorter than he would have liked, being on the short side of the hill, followed by Dobmeier, who gets a little bit further. Let's see how Nick Doan attacks. Looks like he's not afraid of a down tree as he chooses to go towards 5's basket, finishes over it. Leaks a little left and early. He'll have an uphill approach to hole 8's basket. Keagy getting aggressive with a Corvette. And beats the branch.
Yeah. It was a very aggressive play, but great result. He's almost up to the flat where he can attack across the field to 8's basket.
Nobody really in position here, so let's see how they choose to attack. Matt Graves goes to a forehand, putting it high over the shul and cresting the hill. And he comes into frame, got about 100 feet into the green. Dobmeier with the low line, getting around the rest of the hill. And he lands about 80 short himself. Nick Doan going to have to put this high to get over the tree. Or play around it.
Yeah, looks like he went around it. Gets him into putting range for sure. That's edge of the circle.
And it looks like he's just far enough off the tree that he'll have a clear look.
Mm-hmm.
Keagy finds himself just looking at the flat. He's tall enough he can probably see the basket from there. Should make this approach pretty easy. It's high and checks up to a similar location as Nick Doan.
Yep. So those guys will be putting from similar distances. There's Matt with a little approach.
It's his beat-in PA4 that he uses from longer range and some approaches. Puts him right over the basket. Eric, wasting no time, lays up for his par. Nick Doan for birdie from Circle's Edge.
Just chains out barely. We'll see if Jay can do any better. And he can. So Jay manages to card the birdie here. Everyone else has to settle for pars.
Looking at a tie at the top again as
Yep.
the two locals continued to trade leadership back and forth throughout the tournament.
These guys have definitely been putting on quite the battle for us this entire weekend.
100%. And here's a hole where you can definitely create some separation. It's hole 4, typically hole 11 here at Bryan Park, 762 foot. Commonly known to try and get across the creek down there at the bottom of your screen, or lay up just around that iconic middle tree to have an unobstructed approach. Let's see how they attack here. And I can go ahead and tell you, if Jay's got a Corvette in his hand, he is going over the water if he can. He's got the turn, but he's calling for the fade.
Yeah, it's drifting right. It's high up in the trees, so hopefully that means we're going to see it on the other side, but...
Matt Graves, definitely the safer of the two players, but in times like these, he definitely has the power to get over.
He gets a great rip on this Wraith, and it turns just enough to make it look nice. Easily over.
Ton of hyzer from that.
Yeah. Eric's just going to do it entirely on hyzer, showing off the power that he's got available to him. Ends up about 2 feet from where Matt landed.
Very impressive shot from Eric.
Yeah.
And Doan with a very simple run-up, but it delivers a ton of power on his Page Pierce ESP nuke as he lands over 50 feet away from the other two folks across the creek.
Yeah.
And we just catch the tail end of Eric Dobmeier's shot. As he approaches the green, he'll be about 45 feet high of the basket, looking at that downhill death butt.
So Jay did get through the trees. He's down the right-hand side of the fairway, but he can definitely get up and down from here.
Can be easier said than done from this right side, but let's see how he does it.
Yeah. You can see there's definitely a lot of ceiling to contend with. He did catch a little bit of it. Brought him up a little short, but he's still looking at a circle 2 putt.
Gravy getting smashed down by the wind and stays in bounds, but definitely closer to the OB road than he would like. Nick Doan opting for the backhand. Very common to see forehand plays here, but the backhand works just as well if you have the control.
Nice and smooth with a great approach. That's well inside the circle for birdie.
Excellent control with that proxy by Nick Doan.
Matt's going to try and can a long one here once the traffic goes by. Oh, he was very close. He loved it. You can tell.
Oh, baby! Dobmeier, with absolutely no fear, steps up to the putt and delivers from, I'm going to say, closer to 50.
It's a long putt for sure. I'm going to go ahead and roll this back with a radiant rollback.
Well deserved.
Indeed. Great putt, Eric.
He takes about the same time on that as he does a tap in, and it's something special to watch. Keagy for birdie and the lead.
Just a little short.
Pressure gets to everybody sometimes. That's a tough putt. That's definitely knee knocker range when you're in contention for first place.
Nick for his birdie.
Comes in high, but lands in the basket.
Yeah.
I love to observe Nick Doan's warm-up routine. It's very unique to him. It's not something you see on the Pro Tour very often, and it works for him. Keagy and Graves will tap in their pars and stay all tied up, heading into the 5th hole in Safari play.
Dobmeier's only 2 behind, so it is still quite the race.
Absolutely in the chase. Hole 5 is a combination of holes 12 and 13. A lot of players will follow the drone and fly over hole 12 and then access the fairway on hole 13. Some other notable plays are to go on the right-hand side off of the edge of 12's tee. I've seen rollers, I've seen sky hyzers and anhyzers going around the sides. Dobmeier showing us the flex forehand line up the gut, and it works out very well for him. He has about 200-foot chip shot into the green.
Nick's going forehand. Looks like he's going to head down towards 12's basket and head right over to 13. So he just gives it a little bit of height, keeps it straight, lets it carry itself over to the right with its normal fade. Looks like Jay's going to be doing something very similar.
Looks like an early release.
Yeah, and just a little low, catches the grass and gets stopped a little short.
This is a fun play to watch because I believe Gravy goes with his squid here, which is his roller disc. So he's getting aggressive for sure. Let's see if it pays off. Big rip, good cut angle. Crest the hill, and he's going down on the far side, and he'll have a pretty open approach from down there. That's great distance off the tee from Matt Graves. Jay to recover from out of position.
What a great shot. Oh, even deep of the basket. So a little bit longer than he really needed to go. We'll see if he can make that comebacker. Nick with what looks to be pretty routine mid-range shot after his first. And he is looking to putt in the circle.
Nice approach. Finds the tree. Eric pitches up a simple forehand to circle one.
Matt also going with a forehand. Comes up a little, faded a little early, so he's got a long putt that he's got to try and take down.
Those are those opportunities to eliminate those knee knockers when you're tied up at the top like this.
Yeah. Jay manages to tickle chains from out at distance, but doesn't manage to sink it. And Matt also misses just left. Eric a little short on his birdie putt.
A good bid.
Just a little low. Yep.
Just a hair short.
And we'll see everyone tapping their shots in. Well, Nick is for birdie here.
Great birdie to set himself apart from the rest of the lead card.
Mm-hmm.
As everyone else taps in, this played as the third of 9 hardest holes on the Safari. Averaging at exactly even par. Nick Doan, congratulations on strokes on folks.
So we'll continue on to hole 6 of the Safari, which is hole 14 of the regular Bryan Park layout. 459 feet, par 3. It's very hard for a right-hand backhand throw, but might see some folks opt to do that. A lot of folks will also choose to throw a forehand, try and get a drift left and fade back right down by the basket.
Done with the simple 3-step run-up that's incredibly explosive, generating a lot of power. The disc is just a little too nose down and finishes about 100 out, no trouble into the green. Eric pulls it a little to the right, and he'll probably find some cabbage and drop down on that side, and he'll have an obstructed look into the green. Not very common do you see 3 backhands on this hole, even for right-handed players. Especially, I know Jay and Eric are serviceable forehand throwers. But then again, I'm not on lead card, so.
Jay gets his up high, a little turned over. and gets kicked down to the left. He can still approach for the par.
As long as you're down there in the open from somewhere, you're going to secure the 3 most of the time. Happy to not see him get an unfavorable kick into some bad woods. Graves opting for the more commonly seen forehand line, but it leaks pretty early, similar to his shot in round 3, and he'll have a similar look from a little bit further out.
So Dobmeier throwing just a turnover putter, bounces around right next to the basket. So easy par for him.
Jay in jump putt range.
Comes up a little bit short next to the tree. That tree's maybe 20 feet from the basket, so should be a pretty routine par save.
Going to see Doan take a jump putt approach as well. Swings it out around the tree, and it's a tap-in par. Matt Graves has the only look for birdie on the card.
He's got to contend with a lot of cabbage high, which is going to limit his ability to float the disc down there. Does give it a healthy bid, but
no chance, unfortunately. Yeah. Too low ceiling. Keagy with a good par save there. Looks like the rest of the card is going to be taking pars. While they do that, we'll note that this once again played as the hardest hole on the day, averaging 0.4 strokes over par for the field in the cash in open.
Hole 7 of the Safari layout is a combination of holes 15 and 16, so players are trying to get up into the open up here where they can take a shot across the water at the basket for 16. It's a par 4 and 495 feet.
This tee shot becomes a lot more demanding when you're not playing to that basket on the right, but you're actually trying to play close to, if not over the wall. And this shows you why. Even though Nick Doan had a good-looking drive, he comes up a little short, and he's going to have a lot of crap to contend with to approach from there. Eric has a slightly better shape on it with a little bit of flex, and he finds himself close to the wall, but also close to a wall of trees. You can see the pressure on Keagy's face. He knows he wants this to be somewhere good so he can attack for a 3 and separate himself from Matt Graves. It's high and turning.
Get it out through the trees. Now hits a tree and drops into the rocks next to the basket.
It's going to be a tough approach. Matt Graves throws this Essence a country mile. Definitely hoping to get over the wall with this one.
Shaped very, very nicely.
Late turn. Gets a little cheer from the gallery. I think that means he got close to, if not over the wall.
Nick's just opting to pitch out into good position to go across the water.
It's a really smart play. You can see players try to get aggressive from compromised positions when they're playing the Safari.
Matt didn't quite make it over the wall, but he does have a pretty open look to try and go across for the basket. From there, he's close to 300 feet to carry over to that basket.
300 feet, and it's not dead straight by any means. He's definitely going to have to put some shape on this.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to be fading out left. As the way the water is, it will be more likely to go in the water if it's fading.
He finds a hyzer. It's short. He's going to have to advance to where his disc went out of bounds. There is no drop zone on the Safari 9, so he's going to have to advance to the edge of the water. Eric trying to get a low blasted forehand over the water, and he's going to approach to the edge as well. Keagy looks like he might be in jail here, but it looks like he's lining something big up. And he is. He's attacking from that short side, playing it safe and around, and that's going to leave him with a circle 2 look.
Very impressive play there, finding a hole to get out and across the water.
It's a high level of course knowledge displayed from Jay Keagy.
And Nick just throwing across, coming really close to the basket.
That safe shot really paid off. It was a smart play by Nick Doan, and it left him with a stress-free approach, and he'll have a stress-free par.
Absolutely.
After going in the water, definitely a little bit of stress on this shot. Matt Graves definitely making sure to lock in and approach this correctly. A2. Checks up, tap in, bogey. Dobmeier once again wasting no time. Leaks it a little left, but he is going to be dry, and he'll have a circle 1's edge putt with difficult footing for the bogey.
Here's Jay from his circle 2 look. This is a chance for a birdie and a couple strokes on Graves. Comes up a little short. He'll still settle for par and be 1 stroke ahead after this.
He's still smiling about it. Eric with a tough spit out on the pro side. It was a hair right in the chains. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Nick tapping out his par. Very well played hole.
Finally, going into the 8th hole in Safari 9, we see a little bit of separation at the top. Keagy will go into the 8th hole with a 1-stroke lead over Matt Graves at 22 down. Eric unfortunately sets himself back 2 strokes, bringing him to 19, tied with Nick Doan.
Safari hole 8 is hole 17. It is 469 feet and a par 4. Players are going to just try and attack this hole. We probably will see folks going for an eagle.
Backhand and forehand work off this tee as long as you can bite off some big distance. Nick Doan comes in a little low, but he trickles to the flat spot and he'll have a pretty easy approach. Keagy's known for using all of the tee box and then some when he's going big, so anytime we see him line up like this, hopefully we see a blistering drive. He's going with the Star Corvette.
Gets it out pretty nicely. Catches a little cabbage and is drifting right, but
pretty
good result.
Absolutely. Anytime you see the disc turning like that and not staying through the fairway, you can wind up in some compromised position. So a pretty good break for Jake Keagy.
Matt pulls this right, catches the tree on the right that you really want to miss, and drops straight down below it. He's going to have quite a challenge to get up and down for the birdie here.
Definitely trying to attack. Speaking of attack, Eric puts it high.
Absolutely huge.
Beautiful. He's looking at an eagle putt from Circle 2's edge. Matt Graves needs this birdie to keep pace. Looks fluffed from here.
Yeah, he was not happy with it. So he's got a long putt for the 3, but that's definitely very challenging.
Not out of his range, but definitely a low percent putt for anybody.
Nick just throwing an approach shot. Trying to swing it in close. He does just that on the edge of the mulch, which is very close inside circle 1. Jay going with just a forehand chip approach.
Fluffs
And
it.
catches a tree branch and just gets knocked down. So he's looking at a very long putt too.
Unforced error from Jay Keagy on the 8th. Smart to lay up, though. Wise play by Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Say hi. Stay up.
Oh. Eric almost converts the eagle, hits the basket, drops short. But tap in birdie for him off this hole.
Great bid. He has such a confident putt, and we got to see a lot of that today.
Yeah. Let's see Matt really lining this one up. Giving it a good bid. Just falls short. Curls up though, so short par.
Fortunate his rollaway wasn't more punished there. That disc was definitely starting to stand up. Nick Doan for another birdie. Nick Doan is 4 for 8 in Safari play.
He's picked up quite a few strokes.
Absolutely moved quite a few slots up the leaderboard.
Jay's going ahead to tap in his birdie. Or par, excuse me.
Yeah, they definitely both wanted better than what they got, but just like that, we're going to go into the last hole of Safari play with a 1-stroke lead for Jay Keagy.
So our last hole tees off from the bridge on hole 18, going over to hole 18's normal basket. There are a couple approaches that you can take, either forehand or backhand, but it is a lot of greenery that you're having to deal with.
We love to see the traditional dap from all the players. Nick Doan unfortunately puts a move on this one when he didn't quite need to, and he's going to find himself over 100 feet long from the basket. We'll see if we can find that one. Eric finding the high, safer backhand window.
Just goes up over all the trees, comes in very close to the basket. He's got a fairly short putt for birdie.
Keagy opting for the definitely more technical of the approaches, opting for the righty backhand over the water with a Mako 3.
This holds the turn pretty well.
That's good.
Does catch some cabbage and will be barely in bounds at the bottom of the hill.
Saved by that branch on the edge of the water, keeping him in bounds, just grabbing his disc. Matt Graves following Eric's trail, hoping to get himself a birdie look. And he does find himself nestled at close circle 2. After Nick Doan's drive, we had a full search party completed by spectators and everybody, but unfortunately the disc couldn't be retrieved. So Nick Doan is going to re-tee, and he's going to change his approach here, opting for a backhand this time. Let me just tell you, that is not easy to do with a proxy, folks. He finds himself inside of circle 1. Definitely kicking himself he didn't do that off the tee the first time, but nevertheless, a fantastic recovery from Nick Doan. Keagy does not get all the way up. He's going to find himself on the edge. He'll be inside of circle 1, but it's a very steep uphill putt, which leaves this to push a playoff from Matt Graves from 40. And it's inches off, unfortunately. A great bid from Matt Graves.
Nick for his bogey save. Just a little high.
Keagy for the win. And he clutches it. That's Jay Keagy, the two-time champion of the Tour de Richmond, presented by MVP Disc Sports and Good Sports Discs. Congratulations, Jay. We're all super proud of you here in Richmond, bud.
We'll get a radiant rollback for this last putt. It is quite an impressive one.
What a beauty. That takes a lot of confidence, and he's feeling it. He's hyped up. Love to see that emotion there at the end from Jay. What an exciting victory that came truly down to the wire. It was anybody's game all the way to the last hole.
Matt's going to try and get his par here coming up the hill. Gets it just a little left.
Eric once again wasting no time at all with what to us mere mortals feels like a death putt right in the heart of the chains. Great birdie from Eric. Great performance in the final 9.
Nick is putting out for a double bogey here. Oh, there's a chain that was crossed.
Good fix.
Yep.
A little bit of friendly banter between him and Eric. Solid putting stroke and a great performance on the Safari for Nick. And just a special shout out to Matt Graves. He played super hard all week. He stayed on lead card the whole time. It was a fantastic opportunity to watch you play, man.
I'm going to be emotional about this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you the champion of the Tour de Richmond 2025, presented by MVP Disc Sports and Good Sports Discs, Jay Keagy.
A huge heartfelt congratulations to Jay Keagy, and a special thank you to Jay from me as the president of River City. Thank you for being on the board this year.
This one's for River City Disc Golf. The guys push me so much to get better each and every day. We've been working so hard to make these courses better and better. I'm proud of the whole community, so this one's for you guys.
We love you too, Jay. That's from everybody here at River City and in the Richmond community. Thanks for all your hard work and service this year. And congratulations on the 2-time championship.
Also of note, this is Jay's first A-tier win.
Huge and well-deserved by one of Richmond's most loved players. And congratulations on their engagement. That is his fiancée now. So congratulations to Jay and Catherine. And looking at our final scores, we see it was a tight battle all the way down the stretch, and Jay Keagy wins by 2 strokes in the end, with Matt Graves and Eric Dobmeier tied up for second.
So thank you again to all of our sponsors, especially Corey and Mary of Radiant Home Services. They've been out supporting the Richmond community through this entire tournament. We really appreciate their contribution. Everyone else, thank you so much for how much you've helped. Thank you everyone for watching the Tour de Richmond 2025, presented by MVP Disc Sports and Good Sports Discs, and we hope to see you again soon.
Richmond community, we love you all. Thank you so much.